Guys, it's pretty easy to explain why I think this game will blow up. It simply has this thing where you sit down to play for 20 minutes, and suddenly 2 hours are gone. Each run ends with you being just close enough to the next upgrade that stopping feels wrong. And of course, the deeper you go, the more the game keeps showing you new stuff. New fish, new areas, new secrets, new weird creatures showing up at your dock, wanting to be fed. The game keeps opening up in a way that makes it genuinely hard to put down. So you play as a tiny robot on a fishing boat. You cast your line down into the water, hit fish to catch them, haul them back up. And then you are taken to a cleaning station, where you scrape off scales, pop off parasites, chop fins, and remove the head. Then you sell the clean fish to whatever strange creature is waiting at your dock. There are various creatures here: herons, eagles, otters, sea turtles, sharks, octopuses, and some of them are mythical. You feed them enough fish to meet their appetite, and then they pay you. You spend that money on better gear, then go back in and catch more stuff. The cleaning part is where the game gets a little weird, and honestly quite funny as well. Some fish come up absolutely covered in slime and parasites. Little creatures literally poke out of the skin, and you have to stab them. It sounds pretty gross, but it ends up being oddly satisfying when you get through a big nasty fish cleanly. Later on the fish get massive, and you actually have to scroll the camera around just to see the whole thing. The progression here feels good because each upgrade genuinely changes what you can do. A better rod, for example, lets you dive deeper and reach parts of the water you couldn't before. A better knife means you can clear a fish in 1 or 2 passes instead of 5. A bigger bucket means you can come back with more fish per trip. Nothing here feels useless or like filler, and the jump from one tier to the next is always noticeable. The game has 4 different areas to fish in, each based on a real place: the Outer Banks, Loch Ness, and a couple others. Each one has its own fish and its own creatures to feed, but also its own hidden stuff underwater. The game has levers, secrets, puzzles, old notes, and none of this is forced on you, but it makes exploring actually worth doing, instead of just being decoration. You'll be fishing and suddenly spot something through a gap in the rocks, and then spend 10 minutes trying to figure out how to reach it. The creatures you feed have their own personalities and appetites. Some want a specific value of fish, some have favorites. If you pay attention to what they like, they tip better. There is also a story buried in the lore if you look for it. The messages in bottles and old notes piece together something about why this robot is out here doing all this in the first place. And it is more interesting than you would expect. There is one thing worth knowing here, and that is that the controls for fishing take a little getting used to. The hook moves in a way that feels slightly off at first, almost like it rotates rather than moving. It stops being confusing once you adjust, but it is not immediately intuitive. What makes the whole thing click is that every part of it is short. A fishing run takes a few minutes, cleaning takes a few minutes, selling takes a minute, and then you're back out. Nothing here overstays its welcome. It has that quality where you finish one run and immediately want to do one more, because you're just a bit short of the next upgrade, or because you spotted a fish you haven't caught yet. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.